Hey there, YouTube friends, maskedbandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it. We are back in ye old Parkitect today for another episode of Cedar Creek. Yeah, Cedar Creek Amusement Park. Almost forgot the name of my own damn project. We are working today, first things first, getting the station detailed. All I had on it at the end of the last episode, off camera, was a roofline. And so today it's all about putting in the rest of it to make it look decent, to make it look not bad. Today we're going to start fleshing out the area. We're going to start expanding to the left of the main plaza, so basically along this coaster's profile, and then curving up towards the creek, towards the river. But first things first is, like I said, this station. You'll notice I did do a bit of a transfer track kind of thing here. Yeah, I think it's serviceable. It probably is way too close to the path for all you people who are way into coasters. I've realized something in all my years of playing this game, and now in hosting a community for theme park games and theme park lovers and coaster lovers. I thought I loved coasters. I thought I knew coasters. I love coasters, but I thought I knew coasters really well. I thought I was a coaster nerd. Then I started Bronation. And oh my gosh, I don't know nearly as much about coasters as I thought I did. And it's actually a lot like baseball. Back in college, I was all about baseball. I still am. I still love baseball. It's one of my passions. And watching baseball, not playing it. I'm terrible at playing it, but nonetheless, it's a passion. And in college, I followed it relentlessly. I knew every big name, every player on every team, averages, stats, all that stuff. I knew it all. And but as the years have gone on, now I'm down to just knowing all about my team, as opposed to the whole of Major League Baseball. And it's kind of the same almost with coasters. I feel like I knew a lot more about coasters in high school and college. And now, I don't know nearly as much about what rides are located where, or how things are set up to be real world specifically accurate. And that's just not, and I've realized I don't care. I don't care. I like it to look realistic, but not to the nth degree. And so that's always what I'm shooting for, is yeah, that's pretty realistic. Yeah, that's kind of what I like. So hopefully that you aren't too #triggered by any glaring problems that you see with my coaster designing. Although I think, to be fair, here in Parkitect, you could be a little less, you could be a little more forgiving, just given the limitations of the game. I mean, its inherent limitations, and so whatever. All that's to say, that transfer track is probably gonna stay the way it is, whether it's super accurate or not. So take that, I guess. So one of the things I did do in between episodes here is I grabbed a new mod, and I don't know the exact name of it. I forgot. It was thanks to Kinderly, actually, one of our bros from Planet Coaster. If you haven't watched that series, by the way, highly recommend you do that. I've been getting lots of new followers the last few months, ever since I started Missouri Gardens with Jonty. If you're new to my channel and you're either here for Parkitect or you came over with Missouri, I encourage you to check out Bro Coaster, because that's kind of what put us on the map, and then you'll know who I'm talking about when I mention all these bros. But anyway, Kinderly has gotten into Parkitect recently, and he showed some amazing progress. And he mentioned he was using a mod that's basically Anarchy mod. It's an Anarchy mod. It removes, it takes everything off the grid and allows it to be free placed, which is kind of a double-edged sword. It's incredibly flexible and incredibly powerful, but then at the same time, it means that you always have to be pushing the Alt hotkey if you want things to snap to a grid. Walls, and even walls. And which is kind of weird. The first time I was using it, I freaked out. I was like, what is wrong with my game? What is wrong with my walls? And then I realized, oh yeah, I installed that mod, and they're auto on, I guess. But anyway, that mod has been it's been a bit of a, I guess, learning curve, because you'll notice now I have I can raise and lower things to the 100th, to the 100th of a unit, which is just bonkers. It's way too much. I wish I could have the lack of grid without that necessarily the height. Is the variety of heights is far too much for me. But I'm trying to stay to half measurements and full measurements when possible. But anyway, yeah, but it did make building these buildings a lot more interesting, and I think a lot better in the long run. I'm also trying to use some more of the custom pieces now that I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with what I've got going on here in the game and my skills and abilities, and I'm getting quicker with building things. I'm starting to learn where things are going and where things are located. So a lot of trial and error with a lot of these pieces, because like I said, I'm trying to incorporate more of these custom pieces. But yeah, it's going along. It's going along pretty well. So hopefully you agree and you've noticed like an uptick in the caliber of the buildings. I think they're getting better as we go, even though like this is still a pretty small building. I think it works pretty well. But here I am. You can see me fidgeting with some. I think these are Shy Guy's edge pieces here. These posts. They come in centered and cornered varieties, and I needed to see which one I actually wanted. But anyway, this little area here that we're going to be working on today is a little corner area that's very generic. I picture this area like we have our little German Main Street. Then we're going to kind of have an unthemed area, just a generic area. And once we cross the river, we'll get into another themed area. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe it'll be like a Wild West theme, like we'll call it Texas Highlands, so a more Western cowboy theme. And then I think on the other side, if we were to take the path the other way around the coaster, that's where we would do our bayou theme. I think we're going to have a bayou swamp theme or something kind of like that. I don't know how I'm going to do that, though, because the foliage is pretty limited in this game. But I think we can just swap out some materials, do some clever naming of rides and things and pathing, and I think we'll be able to find something that works. I find this game does lend itself to generic really, really well. Maybe almost to a fault, or at least that's how I'm playing it, because generic is so much in my wheelhouse. It's what I love to do, and it's the one thing that I've been doing for so long. I think I've just accidentally kind of gotten good at it. So I just, when in doubt, I just default back to this generic style. And I want to use this park to kind of break out of it's too strong of a word, I guess. I want to use this park to explore some basic themes, like that German area. Like it's so basic, that entrance area. That's not like high level theming. We're not going to do anything Disney. I always expected this to be like a Six Flags type theme. When I say themed, like Six Flags Great America, my home park growing up. I mean, that's got like apparently like 7 or 8 different themed lands, but I don't think I could name more than 2 or 3. Like they have a New Orleans Square, which is kind of themed, and then they have a Yukon area, which is, again, it's got like a totem pole in it, and the buildings are made out of logs, and that's Yukon theme. So that's kind of what I'm going with for this, just Texas centric. So yeah, I maybe if we can do like a Spanish area. I guess this really is turning just into a Six Flags park, isn't it? Unintentionally so, but that's kind of what's happening. So anyway, you can see what I did here on the paths. You might notice, we're going into lighting, so now you won't be able to see it. But anyway, we're doing some lighting, and it feels kind of spammy, but it kind of needs to be in order to illuminate everything. I did try to keep it symmetrical when possible and keep it sort of realistic in its spread. I don't know. I think it looks good for what you can do, especially with those that snap to the paths like that. These lights here that can snap, you put on the buildings, are great. I love those. So hopefully you're like, yeah, cool. Night lighting. That's always a nice thing. It's a nice little feature to add. But anyway, once we go back to daytime here in a little bit, you'll see the pavement has some different hues, like some patch. It kind of looks patchy. That's totally intentional. I wanted to see what that would look like. It almost looks kind of pixely, which I think is which I really enjoy. So hopefully you think that's pretty cool too, because that's what I'm going to be doing when I have these large swaths of the same texture type. I might alter the the hues ever so subtly. Yeah, that might be something I'm tackling. We'll see. So yeah, you can see we added this flat here. I think in the previous episode we added it and we just dressed it up here. I don't think I actually got recording of it being dressed up. Oh well. We're gonna add one more flat at the end of this episode, and then that'll kind of be it for rides in this episode. The next big thing I wanted to tackle in this episode was a backstage area. So you can see we're starting to work here. I added this warehouse. I think I called it a shed. We added this little warehouse, and I plopped it in between episodes here, but I don't like where it's placed, so that's why I made it a blueprint and then moved it. And then so we can give ourselves a proper backstage area here. So you'll also see some carriers. Is that what they're called? Some handlers? I don't know. Some little worker dudes wandering around. I plopped those in so they could deliver goods to the shop, so we could stop those dang notifications from showing up. But you'll see we're working on our backstage area here. And since I have the entrance area and all that, I thought I might as well go ahead and try and go all out with a backstage. Again, same way I do the coasters. I am not intimately knowledgeable of backstage areas of parks because I've never been to one, and like Google can only do so much. And to be frank, I don't really want to do that when I'm playing Parkitect. I'm saving that for I'm saving all my research-based play for Planet Coaster. This is just kind of let's have fun. And I had such a blast building this backstage area, and hopefully you like it. I took some hints from $2.20. Because he did some awesome backstage areas for his series for Dollarwood. It's so great. So I made little sheds. I figured I would just store, I don't know, seasonal items or whatever. Maybe even just dry goods. Who knows what it stores. But I wanted it to feel like this is the main hub and everything will get dispersed from here. It's not very large, but it's going to expand to the left. Again, it'll follow the curve of the park. So it'll be pretty large, and it might just wrap around the entire park. I'm not sure. This gate kind of gave me a pain in the butt. I wanted to get rid of it, but you can't because it's the park boundaries. So I just improvised. We say there's a gate there, and that's how you get in and out. Although I guess having a gate and a fence is a little redundant now that I'm thinking about it. So I should probably remove that. But what are you going to do? Decided to throw in some parking just to kind of convey that this is where a lot of the stuff gets done. I think if I'm going this route, I should probably go ahead and just throw in some employee parking somewhere. Like, this clearly wouldn't be enough employee parking. So I might go ahead and do that either in between episodes or for the next episode, or not, or just wait till do another day. You'll see we're placing the bollards around so nobody gets hurt. Found those scenery pieces for wooden coasters, but they don't really fit the coaster I have, unfortunately, so we won't be able to use those. Darn. And it's just fencing off the rest of the area and making our backstage look cute, adding some clutter. I really like the way it turned out. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty believable, pretty decent. So that's what we're going for here. Pretty decent. And we are just... Oh, I found that to use as pallets. I thought that was pretty cute. I thought that was a good idea. I had a good idea once, and it was to use pallets. Plop down this ride here. I wasn't planning on having a ride here initially, but I thought, well, that wouldn't be awful to have a ride right snooged up against backstage. That seems to make a lot of sense to me. So I rolled with it. And I wanted to do some funky colors. I guess orange is funky, but you'll notice I really tried to do some interesting color combination. Well, not interesting, but good color combinations in that little in the generic buildings next to this flat. And I wanted to carry that over into here to make it look like the whole little area was kind of either renovated at the same time or put in at the same time or something like that. Just kind of, I don't know, it feels like I wanted it to kind of feel like it went with what was next door to it. I did add some wagon wheels and a big-ass skull to the building on the corner to Texas theme it. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. Yeah, other than that, it's just a lot of foliage and just dressing up the area. I am using the in-game borders as actual curbs. I don't know if that's the best option, but it's the one that seems to work for me right now. Taking good use of these potted plants here. I really like those. I love the in-game options that we have, and I also love how a lot of the custom scenery, someone commented how I did when I posted a picture on Bronation, someone commented on how I got the little garage doors on my sheds, and I was like, oh, that's just a piece. But then I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, is that just a piece in-game, or is it a custom scenery piece? I'm not sure. Like, I'm pretty excited by that. The simple fact that I can't tell just by look at what's custom and what came with the game. I think major props to the custom content creators of this game for making their wares blend in so well with what's already there. I know with Planet Coaster, that's something that can sometimes be a struggle. Granted, this particular art style might be easier to emulate because Planet Coaster feels a lot more realistic. But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Parkitect, and if you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. With that being said, have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever, and I will see you for the next episode. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.